Hello everyone, Gomez here for the LAN Show. For more reveals, it is the hype time of reveals. Let's get in here. I've got no idea what the hell we're going to be seeing today. I'm guessing we're not going to be seeing a champion because we saw a champion yesterday. So let's just get in and see what cards we have tonight. Okay, so it looks like we've actually got I'm already hyped because I was only expected to see like a few cards. It looks like we've got a few panels. Let's get through the first panel here. So potentially it looks like we might be seeing a bunch of different from all different regions. That's very nice to know. So firstly, Murcia field promotion, but 2 cost burst speed the next time you play a unit this round. Granted scout, it's now an elite. So, theoretically, what that is now, so number 1, whatever the hell you're playing, you're giving it scout. But, number 2, you are giving it the elite. It is now an elite, which obviously, elites have got certain synergies that can work with them as well. So, that's actually quite devastating, because obviously the thing with when you go out of Demacia, if you're making an elite deck, like the thing is, if you go outside the region, because you obviously want to be hitting allegiance to be able to hit the bannerman. If you do slightly go out, it's the main thing. Or even Demacia cards with inside Demacia. So for example, like sometimes you want units which are going to be getting like a lot of value, but they're not elites. So like Shyvana, being able to play Shyvana in an elite deck, considering the fact that this actually works really well with Shyvana, because giving her scout so she goes forward twice and gets that and gets like, you know, the pluses of anything that goes in front of her. But not only that, the fact that she's an elite does, like, you know, also I'm trying to work out like where in my mind this is helping. I guess because it says the next time you play a unit. So there are units, but my mind is trying to think about everything which works with elites. There are obviously things that get discounted every single time that you play an elite. And yeah, so, and also there's things that buff purely elites. So this has got like potential synergies. Like, so I do like the idea. My first mind thought is thinking about like playing like Shyvana with that, because like she works already really well with Jarvan. Like there's like decks that are going out with that. So actually, devastating card. But also the fact that now opens up the door to like add scout onto anything. You can add scout onto like even misfortune, I guess, but not that you really want to. It'd be something else in that deck. If you wanted to have scouts being a thing, you can now say let petty officer or something have more damage. Obviously you'll choose a unit which has got more health, but this is actually like a really nice thing which allows you to then go on and do like, as my mind is also thinking that technically this does mean that you can grant scout and elite to the Adaptatron bot, with, because I always think about Heimer, the Adaptatron bot, which will mean that every other bot that you summon will have scout. And if you've already given elusive to the Adaptatron through like a map, or even just playing the elusive thing, that I'm already thinking about really crazy synergies. This is actually a magnificent card for Demacia. For Murcia, loving that already. Now we get on to Freljord, which we get another Poro. We get another Poro and another Yeti. I've not read what the hell they do yet, but we haven't seen another Poro or Yeti in a long time. And what we're looking for is the Elnuks, people. That's what we want, more Elnuks. But anyway, let's see what this next Poro does in Freljord, which obviously is the main Poro region. So, Fabled Poro. When I'm summoned, grant all allied Poros. Oh, that's quite big. So, this is, if you're running a Poro deck, which you would be running with this, and bearing in mind that obviously you would be also running like Poro stacks to get their health. Number 1, it's a 4 cost, but it doesn't have a bad health stat. It's got the health stat of 5, which if you use Poro snacks, that health stat can go up like really nicely as well. And the fact that it's giving grant all allied Poros random keywords like that are out, that is depending on how big you build that board, I'm guessing like more than anything you're most likely going to go P and Z, and like because the daring Poros. and then the potential of then using that with Give It All, and actually having a nicely statted Poro in terms of health. So not even requiring something else with a good health stat, just using Give It All. Basically, always. I'm gonna make a PNC crazy stupid Poro deck, aren't I? That's gonna be like one of the first things I'm gonna build. Like the idea of just like, because that could give life steal, it could give spell shield, it could give anything, and then to give it to all of them with Give It All. Plus he's got a little hammer. Like, I didn't even pay that. Plus he's got a little tiny hammer and basically, like, you know, looks like something from like I know that obviously Freljord is more Norse than anything, but this is the most Norse looking Poro I think that we have seen, like in terms of with the big beard and the rings and that. So the blacksmith of Poros. So devastating, love it. And actually that everyone says that Poro decks have been dead for a while, so it's good to see that they're getting something. So let's go on to the next one, which is the Yeti card, which is an 8 cost 5/5, which most Yetis are 5. I mean, I think all Yetis are 5/5, right? Other than the Youngling. So we get the Abominable Guardian. Round start. If you have 2+ Yetis, summon me from hand and create a copy of me in your deck. Play, draw a Yeti. So the thing of it is, so number one, this is important, is if you've just got 2 Yetis on the board and this is in hand, they immediately come out and they make a copy of themselves in the deck. But it's a summon effect, so you won't get the play effect of drawing another Yeti. But if you don't summon them, if you play them, you do get which if you're building a proper Yeti deck, this should just be coming out anyway, like in terms of if you've got a bunch of Yetis, like so obviously you're using like the Trapper to put like those Yetis in the top 3 cards to throw in. You've got the which you've got like the Youngling, you've got like the Tails, which at the 3 cost spell, which just summons one. If like this should not actually be that hard, and then if this is in your hand, it immediately goes on. You've got another 5/5 body, which you've basically not had to even pay any like cost for. Is quite devastating, and if worse comes to the worst, it gives you the option to draw a Yeti. That is not actually bad. This is like both of these like forms, like both Poros and Yetis have not really seen like, you know, much. Obviously Yetis more got put into Ash Edjwani or Ash LeBlanc, but the fact that they've now got like the potential of actually trying to make their own synergy going on. I mean, you're damn right I'm going to go for both of these and do these things. Like all of these cards so far have been proper hype. Let's go into Ionia's first card, which is a dance. So recall a unit and blade dance for 1. It is a 4 cost slow speed. It is more recall. It is basically like, the crazy thing is that it's recall a unit, which doesn't require, so it doesn't mean recall one of your own units, because the 2 cost lead and follow is, I believe it is recall one of your own units. It doesn't say like this is recall a unit, so that means you can send something back on your opponent's side and still blade dance for 1. But it is slow speed, so it's not like it's that you can instantly get this out or anything. I don't know whether or not the deck would drop what it's got, but it's still another thing which works in the blade dance category. But whether or not they would drop this, buried it like, or put this in for something else, I guess it is like a cheaper blade dance. But I feel that I don't feel with it being slow speed, because that does mean that you can't use it as a reaction. If your opponent instantly attacks forward, you can't use this to recall one of your units. I don't know how powerful this will be, but we're seeing a little bit more blade dance. I guess they want to like throw a little bit more in to support that archetype, regardless of how devastating the archetype already is. But I don't feel like this gets put into anything at the moment. But it's nice to know that there is another card in there for blade dance, for if you're trying to do something different and trying to go down the blade dance, because this is something that obviously could work with that elusive blade dance unit, whereby whenever you blade dance it goes forward and it's that elusive attack. So if you're trying to make a more deck along those lines, anything which is giving you that, as well as obviously recalling something on your opponent's side of the field, could actually be important. So there's slight things where this could work, but it's okay. We move on to, so now we get the Targon ones. So 3 mana burst speed, Starlight, like a epithet. Why is my mind not being able to say these words? But it's supposed to be, so it's just invoke. If you have a celestial ally, replace your deck with what? I'm sorry. What? So number one, you're invoking. Number two, if you have a celestial ally, so I believe that means they have to be on the board, not in your hand, because it's not behold. So you have to have something on the board. Replace your deck with 20 copies of Behold the Infinite, which is the 2 mana. Like that is a balls to the walls, everything in on invoke. Like, I can't wait to make that. Oh my god, it's made me excited. I'm so excited. This is like, because it's the pure stupidity of it. That's more what it is the fact that, because the celestial cards are some of the most powerful cards, and the fact that you're going to be using Behold the Infinite, which is basically choose from your invokes, but it is such a gamble, because obviously you could play this really early on. Say that you play Zoe, say that you're playing, like, if you're going all in on this card, you are like playing Zoe, you're playing the one cost, like I think like Spacey Sketcher, you're playing Fangs, you're playing like literally like anything which invokes, even Behold the Infinite itself, you are playing and trying to get a unit on the board as quickly as possible to play this, which then just means, bearing in mind, if you had your whole deck of 40, it's going to be taking all of that deck out, all of your deck out for a deck of 20 cards. This is just pure stupidity, but it is playing on the fly. But they could give you a bunch of the higher cost stuff, which is not going to be helpful to you. Like, this is it's one of those moves which is crazy, and it's so crazy that I love it. That's honestly what this is. Oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to recover from that card on its own, because the meminess and craziness that could make happen. It might even be too broken, because the celestial cards themselves are already crazy enough as it is. But I am loving the idea of this card. Let's move on to the next one, which is the Heavens Align. So it is Daybreak, Daybreak, create a random Nightfall card in hand, or Nightfall. So this is a 1 mana focus, whereby it depends on which way you can actually use this. If you were trying to synergize Daybreak and Nightbreak, so if you Nightfall, if you were trying to make like a Leona Diana deck, or like a Leona, I mean Leona's like the main like Daybreak champion, so I think the only one. So like if you're trying to make like a Leona Diana or Leona Moonman, like the options are there. It's not actually a bad thing, like considering the fact that it's creating a random card for 1 cost, which then allows you to activate something else. It's not actually a bad. Yeah, again, it's going to be a really funny card to be able to put into your Daybreak / Nightfall deck. It's actually like a quite fun thing. It is random what you're going to be getting, but for 1 mana, it's still very nice value as an activator for either Leona if you activate this on Daybreak, or to help you activate a Nightfall card and getting a Nightfall card as well. So actually, not bad at all. Do we go on to Noxus? Noxus has Bringer of Ruin, who has Overwhelm. It's a 12 stat. It is 10 mana to play this. Attack, increase my power by the total power of allies, which is it is an all-in strategy, right? In terms of, you need to have a big enough board. If you're playing Noxus, we already know that you've got a lot of 5 damage units, like with weak stats elsewhere, but it's all about increasing the power up to that. There's also like Farron, if you're using Farron's already like 8 getting added on. Like there is actually the potential, like considering that this has got Overwhelm, obviously Hush and so many different ways of stopping a unit are things, but this is actually like a devastating game ender for Noxus if all else fails. The other thing to remember is that obviously this can technically be got out sooner with Matron. You can use like a Shadowholes Matron to get this out, and then it will when it attacks, it's going to be increasing its damage with Overwhelm. So there is actually ways of getting this out sooner if you're using Shadowholes, as well as I guess you could make a Targon's Peak deck with this. You can make a Targon's Peak deck with this, but actually, like, quite a devastating game ender for Noxus here. That words can't even yet again describe. Like, some of these cards, So like, look, they've hit some really nice things here that is definitely going to shake things up. Let's just say that. With the craziness and stupidity of like some things that can definitely be synergized between these different things. But yeah, so whereas the Watcher is your matron target in Freljord, like this will be your matron target, and obviously Cythria the Bold is your matron target within Demacia. So Noxus has got it. Is everyone just gonna get a Cythria matron target? Is that what's gonna happen here? But we have another one, which is Formed Blade, which is a 4-mana burst speed. Give an ally +5 this round, which obviously if you were, like, you can't technically play these on the same turn, but you could have played this and then going into your next turn, increasing somebody else's damage, you will actually also buff this unit, as well as obviously there is a lot of overwhelm stuff already in Noxus, so the idea of being able to increase that overwhelm damage, like Noxus is just gonna go full, like they're just gonna like go pedal to the metal, full on aggression, which with the amount of heals we've been seeing in the game from Targon, I guess it is a necessary evil to be able to stop all those heals that we've been getting with star shaping. Like this is like almost like your counter to that. That is negating a star shaping basically. For 4 mana, you're stopping the extra heals if you've got like overwhelm and whatnot going on for you. Obviously, your opponent could be running Hush if they are in Targon, but it's only going to help them out so many times, right? And sometimes they're not going to have it in hand. So, yeah, again, really, I mean, all of these, so far, all of these cards, yes, much respect, I love them. I can't, like, let's go on to the last few. So we are in Shadowholes. Shadowholes actually getting a new landmark as well, but we will get to that landmark. We'll firstly start off where we finish. So the Fox, which is a 4-cost, 3/3 fearsome play. Kill an ally to deal 3 damage to the enemy nexus. So, yet again, more in that kill-slay synergy. Like, this actually potentially could find its way into Thrash Nasus, or could find its way into, like, definitely a slay deck where you might consider Kindred and whatnot, or just a full-on aggression deck, because that is going to be playing killing something on your side, which sometimes you want to be killing. Like there's multiple targets. We already know there's multiple targets in Shadowholes that you kind of want to kill anyway. So killing it to do 3 damage to the enemy nexus, and then if you've got Atrocity, or if you are playing that kind of game plan, like just anything which is helping get that nexus damage down, is so yeah. Again, so Shadowholes and Noxus both going really aggressive on their new cards and whatnot. So let's have a little look here at the 0 mana card hitting in. So fast speed, 0 mana. Oh no, that's just that skill. Ignore me. That is just that skill coming off of there, which is the killer unit to deal 3 damage. So it can be stopped, obviously. So you can stop that skill with deny. Or Rite of Negation, I think, stops skills as well. But yeah, no, so that is devastating card. It is a fearsome card as well, so bear in mind if you were playing this with Elise, so if you were going with Spider aggro, this could definitely like potentially see its way in there, because obviously if she's creating those 1/1 spiders, or if you've got like 1/1 spider left on the board, killing it, doing 3 damage to the enemy nexus. If you're riding this in the Noxian shell that spiders are in, which are all about using fervor most of the time anyway, on top of those little spiders, just this with a bigger fit, like, so yeah, again, so potentially like fearsome spiders could like see this card added in. Really, like, yeah, get like every single card has been something which can add on to an existing archetype, or like might even, like, if we're talking about the Targon card, make a whole stupid deck of its own. Okay, let's go into the last card, which is the Shadowholes landmark, Twisted Tree Line, which is I've seen 3 fearsome allies attack, destroy me to create, which we know is it a 5/5 or a 6/6? The big spider, like because there's that other card which is Fresh Offerings, which gives you this card. I can't remember if it's a 5/5 or a 6/6, but it does have fearsome, from what I remember. So yeah, again, it's a very interesting, like, if you're doing that fearsome archetype, that like you could put this in, because it is that I've seen fearsome allies attack, so they don't technically have to have actually attacked, they just have to be on the attack stat going forward. So there is this, that we have seen obviously the lurkers who have got fearsome or have the ability to have fearsome and whatnot. So potential, but not sure whether or not it's going to be good enough for, like, you know, because we don't know what Pike's going to do yet, whether or not it's going to be good enough for that. But definitely just in its own Shadowholes with Noxus, that kind of like all the fearsome stuff that they can have in there, or even Shadowholes Shurima, so that you've got like those there's a lot of really kind of early game like Hunter, and also the one cost who every single time somebody's slain goes up, who's also a fearsome. So like the potential of either going either way, either going like Noxian or going Shurima with the like that kind of fearsome deck, and this kind of the Fox feeding into it. All of these cards have been fantastic, and like I can't wait to build with them. I just want them. I want these cards. Like, this was such a nice reveal, like, in terms of hitting all the other regions, other than, like, obviously the ones we're going to be seeing all the champions and whatnot. So, very nice to see. Can't wait to get my hands on. I especially can't wait to do some stupidity with this card. But yes, please let me know what your. I also like this Demacian card. The ability to be able to grant Scout and Elite. I'm just like, so many ideas were coming in my head. Poro is also magnificent. Like, literally every single one of these sparks an idea in my head. So please let me know what you think down in the comment section down below, as well as obviously shameless plug time, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. If you didn't know already, I do stream on Twitch on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, as well as the Discord link down below to get in there and talk about all these new cards, talk about your deck ideas. I can't wait to hear what some of your ideas are that regard this, or your thoughts and feelings on these new cards. So either in the comments or on that Discord. Also, that Discord, you can get involved. There's like free monthly competition and whatnot that's tied in with the Twitch. But honestly, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed yourself even a little bit, why not consider hitting that subscribe button and helping Gomez towards his end of year goal of hitting 5,000 followers / subscribers. Just thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a good time. Until tomorrow, where we'll get more reveals, hopefully maybe a champion. Goodbye!
From flash of brilliance that could save me. Save me! That doesn't save me. Okay. Is there anything from you? Save me. That doesn't save me! Okay. Get rid of this and get rid of this. Find something that can save me.